Good morning. Good morning. Oh, this weekend began. I titled this blog Observations because I'll tell you something else. You know, prophets have warned us of, and it's just like people of Noah, when Noah of time, when Noah building an ark, and people were saying, well, it is not rain. What is he doing? And the prophetess Loretta, she got married over 3 years ago because she was talking about building trees. She was talking about planting gardens. And at that time, inflation has always been present, but it wasn't impacting everybody's everyday life. My son went in the store the other day and he bought a bag of chips, and it wasn't a family bag, it was just an individual bag. And he bought a soda. And he said, do you know how much this was? And I said, $5. He said, no, $6. So I said, my God. So now we see why the prophetess was telling us to store food. Now we see, because if two items cost you $6, and you're looking at the utility bills, how high they are, you I've never seen such anarchy, such confusion as I see now. I just turned the TV on, and of course, they're talking about the raids in Los Angeles and talking about the people being deported. And it's just everything. It's just like people are just at a loss as to what to do. And I had said earlier that people's lives are being snuffed out just like candles. People not living 40 years. You got people, you look on the news and you see people losing their lives. Um, I was just reading about this young, well, he wasn't a young man, but he was a widower. He had lost his wife to cancer, and he and his daughters were faring pretty well because he was pouring himself into his children's life. Okay, so he meets this woman. She ends up being a scammer, and not only a scammer, a murderer, because he was lonely. And like I say, he had lost his wife due to cancer. And his children, they did not trust the lady that he invited into their house. But she had some sob story that she was a victim of domestic abuse. And so he was in such a hurry to complete his family. He was in such a hurry to bring somebody in over his, and the woman didn't have children of her own. So therefore, he thought he had a new lease on life. He thought that this woman, was going to complete him. And this woman ended up being not only his murderer, but the murderer of his children. And it only took her 3 weeks. So she had a plot. He was falling in love and she was plotting. So I'm just saying, you read all of this, and these things are not isolated incidents. You have people who make their living is just focusing on other people's vulnerability, focusing on their loneliness and whatever. And everybody just want to be complete. They just want to hurry up and make things right. But you can't hurry up and make things right now. You need to be praying now, because the Bible says evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. So you may have one thing on your mind, and that person may just be looking at you as if you're a cash cow, or as if you're the person that gonna provide them with a house or whatever, not even thinking about you per se. So I'm just saying, I ain't never seen nothing like it in my life, and I'm an old woman now. And I realize now the importance the importance of prayer. It used to be a time, I would get up through the night and I would say a prayer, and I didn't even know how important it was. I did not know how important it was. People would just be on my mind and whatever, and you just have to say a prayer. You just have to say a prayer because I'm realizing the Bible is coming to life. I mean, we not just reading scriptures that have no meaning and have no significance. I mean, this Bible, oh my God, it is coming to life. And nobody can accuse anybody of fear mongering anymore. The things that they ignored the prophets about because they want to live their own little comfortable life. You can't ignore the prophecy now, honey. It say despise not prophesying because God is sending people, putting people in place to give people warning, because Jesus is on his way back. And I know people, they so educated and they have evolved. And I know they don't want to believe in a devil anymore. They don't want to believe in a heaven anymore. They don't want to believe in a hell anymore. They talking about you make your own heaven, you make your own hell on this earth. But honey, I'm telling you the truth. We better believe in a higher power because we mortal beings. We are mortal beings. And because by us being mortal, we subject to the laws of nature sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So, it's time for us to have some sense. It's time for the creation to be looking for its creator now. And no need to trying to make yourself be all this and all that. You better cry and say, Lord have mercy. Because I see everything that can be shaken, I see it shaking now. The foundations are being removed now. Do you hear me? You got people, oh my God. And I mean, before you get over one thing, it's something else. I mean, you hate to even, I don't know what people use social media for, but every time I go to social media, somebody's extending condolences. And they're not extending condolences to people 70 and 80. It's people in their 20s, it's people in their 30s, people being, they just dying in their sleep. Just like their life is being snuffed out like a candle. And then you got the price of inflation. You got people in apartments paying $400 utilities. It's just like, Lord have mercy. The prophetess Loretta, I got to give her credit because when I first heard of her, well, it was through Roderick Jennings. He had liked something that she said. So I said, let me listen. So anyway, she was telling people about Project Green or something. I've never seen the movie or whatever, but about how mankind is going to deteriorate to the point where people are going to be eating people. We're going to descend into cannibalism because of the lack of food. The famine was on the horizon, and uh, not only her, it was other minor prophets that was saying when you go to the grocery store, buy $20 worth of food, extra food that you don't need, build you a pantry now. See, the prophet and the prophet had warned us. And but see, we were in such a comfortable place. We were saying, well, we just they just fear mongering people. They just arousing people to fear and oh no, And now these times are upon us. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we need the Lord now. And folk can act crazy if they want to. It ain't no time to be going to church or just reading the scripture and just getting up and leaving Jesus in the church. You better take God with you now. I'm trying to tell you because I've never seen times like these. I have never seen times like these. So I am saying, I'm urging the people of God to get on their post because people used to see prayer as an option. Like, okay, I got this. If they had the job and they had the house and they had the car, they thought their life was complete. But honey, it's a shaking now in this land. It's a shaking, it's a shaking, it's a shaking. And we better get to know the Lord now. We better get to know the Lord now because these are perilous times that we're living in. And people have been, they just have been, they've been preaching a real gospel. That's why I say, um, people ain't preaching enough to save a gnat, much less a human being. I mean, we got God. We done made him the Pillsbury Doughboy. Like he just somebody that just we can manipulate. We living in McDonald's. We can have it our way. The devil is a lie. His nickname Satan. I'm trying to tell you, we have got to get in touch with God because it's too much going on. I'm talking about. I ain't never seen nothing like it in my life. What happened was, like I say, I went to Facebook. I got first I couldn't access my social media. A lot of times people say, you know, why you giving me the silent treatment and this and that. Half the time my Facebook was out of whack. At one time I could broadcast from a Shell Weaver, but I couldn't access Ann Weaver, you know. And then, I had other profiles, he is a healer and Kingdom Kids Academy Weaver and just so much, but I didn't have access to them on my phone. Number one, I got a new phone. So it's just been a lot. So anyway, I had a chance to reconnect with one of Jane's cousins. And Lord have mercy. I had seen on my Facebook live that someone had died, you know, um, I guess it was on the University of Chicago, affiliated with the University of Chicago. And I looked up the lady and I was trying my best to find information. And I had no idea. And when I went to her page, I saw that she was friends with one of my daughters. And I said, well, but I hadn't heard, daughter hadn't said anything. So I said, who is this person? Because it was just something I just couldn't shake. So anyway, Jane's cousin actually called me and told me she was the child's mentor. She had encouraged the child to move to Atlanta, but the child wanted to see the world. So this is what I'm saying. It's time now for us to take off the mask because we got people emulating us and we catching hell ourselves. Huh? Ask me about it. If there was a time I had no trouble finding a job, but that was pre doctorate. I had people tell me you need to downplay the doctor. Don't keep saying you Dr. Weaver and just, you just said, you, and you just, and then you had people didn't want to honor them. I ain't gonna call her no doctor, whatever, like somebody just gave me a doctor. Okay, this is not an honorary doctorate. I actually went through graduate school. I went through to get my master's. I went through to get my specialist, and of course, it culminated in a doctorate. So I have been a doctor now since October 2010. But people refuse to acknowledge. And God had given me a dream that when people refuse to acknowledge you, it can lead to a nervous breakdown. Because you got some people just dead set. I ain't gonna value. I'm not going to acknowledge. So it's just pitiful. It's pitiful. So being black and being female, you know, coming up, you know, I was an illegitimate child, but every day, if you can't look at me and see Willie Roy, you must be blind. You must really be cray cray because I see him more and more now. And I had a lady tell me, you look just like your dad. Well, if but by my mother being a single parent, of course, people were gossiping and they were saying that may or may not be. They always said it was mama, baby, and daddy, maybe. But honey, daddy is present now. If you can't see Willie Ralph Boy, you must didn't know him because I see him. I look at these doggone cheekbone. I look at that smile. I look at those eyes. And I said, my God, my God. So people have secrets in small town, and stuff. You run around here, you be done married your cousin because folk don't know who their daddy is. They didn't have DNA tests then. They just had gossip sessions. They had street committees that were trying to, identify who your dad was. You know what I'm saying? And it's just sad, people be done spent years, honey, hating folk and find out that's their blood. People be done spent years, using the community consensus. Don't nobody like her. We ain't gonna have nothing to do with her. And find out that's your blood. I have found out in my old age that I was related to people that I didn't even speak to. And find out they didn't speak to me either. But I'm just saying, find out we cousins. I have met cousins through 23 and me, met a particular cousin, me and her the same age. So that means my mama was pregnant, her mama was pregnant at the same time. And we were on different sides of the world. Well, not really different sides of the world, but the thing is, we didn't know each other until now. I'm just saying, I'm just saying, Lord, is there a method to this madness? I see why people grabbing blunts. I see why people are smoking. I see. Because this world is something serious, honey. It's something serious. And you don't know Jesus. You looking for something. You got question marks all in your head. But it's time. Oh my God. I was singing, like I say, people don't sing songs with meaning anymore. They go by the beat now. The lyrics mean nothing to them. But when we came into holiness, our song taught us something. We could learn something. We could get delivered just by singing a song. And I remember when I was young, you know, but I'm like David, I've been young and now I'm old. Never have I seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread. But that was this song they used to sing when I came into holiness, and it would come over here to till I die. Oh, I come over here to stay, Lord. Till I die. Oh, I come over here to stay, Lord. Till I die. Oh, Lord. Till I die. Oh, I come over here to walk upright till I die. Yes, I come over here to walk upright till I die. Oh, I come over here to stay, Lord, till I die. Oh, I come over here to stay, Lord, till I die. Oh, Lord. Then we used to sing a song. There's a war going on. You better fight. There's a war going on. You better fight. There's a war going on. You better fight, there's a war going on. You better fight, you better fight, you better fight, you better fight. I'm telling you, it's a spiritual war going on. And people better learn how to suit up. You better stop. You better try to clean up what you done messed up. I'm serious, honey. You ain't got time to be examining nobody else's life. You better make sure. You better examine yourself. You better make sure that you are in the faith right now. Because we need the Lord if it ever been a time. Ilabakasakaya, ukandelebekushiriya, if it ever been a time. Idabakandalabokushiriyalabaha, you better find you some tongue to speak in instead of worrying about me and my tongue. You better find you some, honey. I tell you, you're going to need him. You're going to need him. Oh, Lord, I tell you the truth. God bless y'all. You gonna need him, you gonna need him.